everyone, welcome to today's video. It is Monday, May 31st, and it is 12:40 in the afternoon. Today's walk, we're going to be walking along Richmond, and I just want to point out a couple of things on Richmond Street, and then we'll see wherever else this video will take us today. Right now we're on the corner of Richmond and Yonge Street. I'm on the west side of Richmond, on the south side of Yonge. Okay, and we're walking west. And there's a couple of buildings I want to point out, if I can find it, of course. I have a hard time locating buildings if they don't have like a number on the building. But I read an article a while back on I think they were refurbishing some historic office buildings at 85 Richmond Street West and at 111 Richmond Street West. So rather than tearing down, they were going to keep the building but expand it, or expand them rather. We're in the heart of downtown Toronto, one of my favorite places to be. There's such a good energy down here. So I left home about an hour ago and walked down to our start point here. And there are also, I think I also read something about the Adelaide Centre. Is it Bay and Adelaide Centre? That there's some talk about that structure. Now that might be the same location as the buildings I just spoke to. Wow, look at these beautiful hydrangeas. Oh, this is the High's restaurant. I didn't know this existed down here. Yeah, so the is it Bay and Adelaide Centre? I know these buildings all connect, so I do kind of get a bit confused as to which is what. Either rebuilding that or doing something to it. Now I know I used to cut through that building through the you know, the pathway system, the underground pathway system. And I used to take it from University to all the way to Yonge and Dundas. And I know I cut through that Adelaide Centre. Now, I did look online to see if I could recognize the buildings from the exterior, but oh man. Okay, here we are at 80. So 85 should be, oh yeah, these look like historic buildings. So this could be, so the even numbers are on the north side, the odd numbers should be on the south side. So this could be 85. I know this is 73. Okay, so just up ahead here. Well, look how gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous. I'm going to try and angle the camera up. So I'm going to pull up my notes. As soon as we get to our first destination. Here we're on Shepherd Street. Look at that building. Really nice architecture. So you notice on the street signage. It said Shepherd Street, but then it said Toronto Financial District. So we are in the financial district of Toronto. Adelaide Street is just one street south, down where those lights are, if you can see them. Alrighty, let's check this out. Okay, here, yes, 85. Nice, 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 nice. Go ahead. Okay, I'm just going to pull up my notes here. So they talk about 3 aging office buildings. 2 of them are around 100 years old, or just over 100 years old. And they're talking about redevelopment. Oh, I know. Remember I was talking about that Bay Adelaide Centre? It's actually Richmond Adelaide Centre. Hello. Yes, of course. Everybody knows that. It's on the west side of Bay, which we passed. And so these historical buildings. So 85 is an 11-story building built in 1923. And then 111 is a 15-story building built in 1954. There's obviously a lot of character, but look at those brass doors. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous, gorgeous doors. You don't see that very often anymore. Beautiful. So yeah, they're looking to restore these buildings. Now you can see the difference between this one, which was built in 1923, and the one that was clearly not built then. It's where Google is housed. This is where Google is. This has got to be 111. And I'm going to read you an article. This is from January of this year. It was part of a property report that I came across. So I'm just going to read it. It says the restoration won tenants even before construction began, with 60% of the building pre-leased, including 89,000 square feet to Google. So there is a Google sign on the top of the building, which is on actually the other side. And I panned to it when I panned 85 Richmond. Let me just continue reading here. A key part of the Richmond Adelaide redevelopment plan was to build a new glass-clad 40-story Ernst Young Tower at 100 Adelaide Street West, which is, I think, probably just behind here on Adelaide, which is a block south. That could be the other building that they're speaking to replace the 16-story 1928 built concourse building, which was outdated and not conducive to an interior renovation. Its facade, however, decorated with emblems of Canadian industry mosaics by the group of 7 artists, J.E.H. MacDonald, was architecturally significant. It was methodically dismantled and pieces were cataloged and rebuilt at the face of the modern tower. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to head down to Adelaide Street and see if we can locate that building. But this is the Richmond Street location. Yeah, this is not a, this is definitely more of a 50s. You can just tell the difference between a 50s building and a 1920s building. see what else is worthy here. The article in quotes also continues to say, oops, sorry about that. Some folks are not fans of what has been called the facadism, but in that instance, the building itself was obsolete, and we were able to retain its character building by incorporating it into a high-performance office building that met the needs of modern tenants. Okay, I want to hunt down that building on Adelaide. Unfortunately, I don't have the address, but that's where the that Richmond Adelaide Centre will be. So I'm just gonna hoof it a little faster, and we're gonna just turn south here on York Street to get to Adelaide, and then we're gonna go slightly east on Adelaide. Yeah, I was very interested in I was really interested in looking at these buildings, and I do love the design, the exterior. I love the entrance ways, those brass doors on 85 and that marble at 111. This used to be a Movenpick way back in the day, probably almost 30 years ago. I remember coming here, and it was not a keg restaurant. It was Movenpick. Wow. Wowza, wowza. Okay. And York Street. We're on York Street. And so I remember way back when, I came down. My husband was working in this neighborhood just off of York Street. And I would meet him here for lunch sometimes. Yeah, here's the Richmond Adelaide Centre. Here it is. Okay. Let me see. There used to be like an outdoor courtyard here. I wonder if it's still here. Okay, so this is the Richmond Adelaide Centre. Let me back up so we can have a better look. Okay. Whoops. Camera has a mind of its own. Has nothing to do with the user. Okay. Now I know there is a fitness, did I already say that? There was a fitness facility in here. I think it was like membership only, if I remember. Let's see. Okay. We dismantled the 90,000 square foot building and a parking structure, but we restored the character of the elevations and were able to accommodate a 900,000 square foot building, 10 times larger than the original, he explains. Oh. Would this be it? And then it goes on to read, every aging building poses a unique set of challenges in the city that's changing as quickly as Toronto, he says. It's great when you can retain the building, but it's not always possible. Wow, never seen this before. Okay, here we are. Very cool. And just down here, yeah, this all changed because when as I was mentioning before, I used to come down here and meet my husband for lunch, and we would sit in here, but it was different. That Keg Steakhouse bar, the outside, that exterior, did not exist. And there was like patio space like this for, you know, people that lived or worked rather in the neighborhood. Yeah, so that's new, that outdoor space. Yeah, we used to come up here, but it looks very different now. So I used to, used to come and meet David here. Looking straight ahead there, you can see in the distance, I think that is the York Hotel, the green roof. Could be wrong, guesstimating here. Okay, let's get back down to Richmond. Yeah, I want to point out these 3 structures. So I'm not sure if if that building there is new or the one that I'm angling at. I don't remember. I wonder if that's what they were talking about. Anyhow, I was more curious about the 85 Richmond Street West and the 111 Richmond Street West buildings. Okay, let's get back to Richmond. I like Richmond Street. I mean, I like all of these streets. Oops. I'm trying to hold my water bottle in one hand and maneuver the camera with another, so I apologize if it's a bit wonky, folks. Okay, let's get to Richmond. It's a beautiful day. I think I left home, it was 15 out. So there's a slight breeze, so it helps with managing the heat. So I'm walking north on York just to get back to Richmond. Yeah, this outdoor space. Yeah, I don't recognize this outdoor space. This wasn't here when that used to be a Movenpick. This outdoor space wasn't here. Sheraton Center. Every year the association that I belong to would have a conference, and for many years it was held here at the Sheraton Center. It was like a 3-day event of teaching opportunities and, you know, new technologies, that kind of thing. Always enjoyed that. Good networking opportunities as well. And then the association got real big and no longer was held here at the Sheraton Center, and then we moved everything down to the Convention Center. Okay, we're at Richmond Street, continuing west. This is the Opera House right here, I think. Yep. This used to be a parking lot, if I recall. A smaller building was here, I think, as well. So this Opera Center was built, I think, about 15 years ago. Already, yeah, about 15 years ago. There's the Hilton Hotel. So when I worked down here, I was working on university, and the building was attached here to the Hilton. But it wasn't called, yeah, it was called the Hilton. Yeah, we used to come over here for lunch sometimes. And I used to work on Richmond, and I used to get off the subway here at, I think I got off at the, probably, what subway station? Yeah, right up there, I think. Queen Street. So, yeah, I used to get off the subway here, and then I would walk along Richmond. Oh, there's the Shangri-La Hotel. I think that's the Shangri-La Hotel. So we are at University right now, looking north. I'm looking south and attempting to cross the street here. Nelson Mandela Boulevard and University Avenue. It's pretty cool. This street has changed a bit as well. I was down in this neighborhood, I think my last video, walking up John here at Simcoe. And crossing Simcoe, going west on Richmond. Yeah, I went to that City TV Chum building in my last video. I don't think this was here, this building. I mean, there was a building here, but I think this was a tear down and a rebuild right here. I worked here in on Richmond Street in 2001 to 2003. And I worked for a .com company, and so you know, part of that whole .com bubble burst. I was part of that. I got laid off in either 2002 or 2003, but I stayed till almost the end to help with you know, all the layoffs and stuff. And I worked for a fabulous boss. There's probably been 3 bosses in my lifetime that, and I'm talking my lifetime of employment, you know, even from when I was working part-time, you know, when I was I think 16, worked part-time, or I worked this summer. So, you know, up until 3 years ago, I was working, and I can only say I've had 3 bosses that I can truly say that I completely respected, who were brilliant in their craft, and no pretense, excellent leaders, just knew how to read people, and knew how to support, and just brilliant at what they did. Anyhow, one of those 3 bosses I worked with at this upcoming location that I'll show you. It is now a Good Life fitness facility. But back then, of course, these new .com facilities were like just so cool. What's happening here? Oh, I guess they're getting ready for the summer. Very cool. Summer is fast approaching. Anyway, the architecture was so cool, and this is like before big barn doors were a thing, and like just beautifully manufactured with wood and metal, just sleek offices, just really cool. It's a beautiful structure, or interior rather, and then I don't know what happened to that building. I mean, the building is still there, but as far as the interior, I know it was the I don't know if it changed after the company sort of was dismantled. I don't know if another organization went in there, or whether Good Life kind of went in as the, you know, the next tenant. I don't know, but anyhow, it's now Good Life. We're going to pass that and see this tall white structure here, the condos, and the building beside it, just across the street. They weren't there. They were buildings probably the size of this Montessori school here, where you see it's like 2-3 stories. And this building here, 296. You can see these are older buildings. These were here. But there was like little shops here. There was like a 1-story, it was like a sandwich shop. Here is theater, that was here. But yeah, these 2 condos across the street, they're new since I was here. Yeah, these are new buildings. And this, yeah, this was parking. And sometimes when I would have to drive to work for whatever reason, I would park here. My last day of work, I parked here because I had to bring all my stuff out. I can't remember what was here. Now it's the linen chest. I don't know, I can't remember what it was. But this was where the Good Life is, right here. This used to be I don't know if you can see inside, but there's stairs going up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry about that. There's stairs, and I climbed those stairs every day. They were cement stairs, and the whole upstairs was hardwood floor, just funky. And it was just a really neat, a lot of glass, a lot of metal and wood. Now, here where the construction is going on, just across the street, it was rumored to be that, because there were some smaller old structures there, like brick structures, and it was rumored to be that they, you know, those were bathhouses, but that's just a rumor. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. And I suspect they're building condos here, but I'm not sure. I only say that because everything that is being built now has at least some of the floors dedicated to condos. These are nice old buildings. Now this is a new structure that we're coming upon this corner here, coming up to Peter Street. Pardon me. Across the street there, 332. 332 used to be like maybe a 3 or 4 story building. It was a white building, and we used to have a lot of our association events held here. And it was just a small kind of funky building, and back in the day it used to be like sort of a nightclub. Now look at it. Yeah, it was a funky older structure. And this is all new. I don't remember what was here, but I think there was there a parking lot here? I think there was a parking space here once, because when I worked at that Richmond Street location, and that we just left, I remember coming and parking here. I don't know why we parked around here for a Christmas event at my workplace with my husband. Now we're crossing Peter Street. Yeah, and there were low-rise buildings here. I remember there was like a falafel little shop here. Now it just looks like an entrance into this building, this new build area. Peter Street. Richmond is a one-way, by the way, going westbound. And up here, the 401 building. This is kind of like I think a lot of artists display in this building. There's a lot of rooms or studios here. Yeah, 401 galleries. Yeah, look at the cool windows. So David's niece, when she got her MFA, she showed in this building. Cool. Oh, it's City of Toronto. Isn't that cool? There's the City Hall there. I'm such a sucker for these, printed bags, tea towels and stuff like that that have, city motifs. Outdoor outfits. Huh. It doesn't look retail. It looks like it's probably maybe the administration office. I've never heard of outdoor outfits. I'm just curious about that because I'm outside so much. So if I can always find something that's lighter to wear and all weather, that would be an awesome thing to find. I don't think, was this here? I don't know. Mama's Pizza has been here for as long as I know. And this is the entrance into the galleries. I should probably see when, you know, when we're able to go back into places. If they have showings there, because I'd like to see more Canadian art on display. Okay, here we are at Richmond and Spadina. Yes, Spadina is busy. The streetcar runs up the middle here, you can see. Spadina has changed quite a bit. It used to be, I think, like the fashion district. But yeah, it's still, actually, I can see the signage across the street. It says fashion district. But when I moved here 30 years ago, there was a little bit more fashion-y type stuff. But what I mean by that is, I remember there used to be a McGregor's socks outlet here. But I don't remember there being anything bougie. I think maybe once upon a time there were some, you know, really cool manufacturing facilities here. Now here you can see it says at 130 Fashion Building, and I wonder whether or not it still is mostly occupied by people in the fashion industry. I wonder. I do like Spadina. Okay, not that familiar with this side of Richmond, so we shall check it out together. So I did a video yesterday, Hogs Hollow. Went to Hogs Hollow yesterday, and that should be posted, I think, hopefully later today. And here's the teardown. I wonder what was here. And a new build here. Oh, you can see just behind, that's definitely an older structure. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's the elevator going up, but right behind you can see, looks like it's a 2 or 3 story, looks like residential with balconies. Wonder how they're managing through all this noise, because they're probably working from home and having to put up with all that noise. I guess we all have to accommodate the changes that have taken place over this past year plus with COVID and new ways of working, all that stuff. I say we, I don't include myself because I'm retired, but the working world. But here across the street, look at that historic building. Coming up to Brant Street. Why is that familiar? Brant Street. Oh, looks like somebody's getting a new Bosch something. That's pretty bougie. Bosch is pretty expensive, I think. Okay, Wellington Place, Brant Street. Oh, this is a new condo structure here. So this is the facade that has been maintained, and there is condo on top of that. Looks like it's still under construction. Oh yeah, for sure. Again, another new building here. And that's Yonge Street, where those lights are, if you can see. Up to Maud Street. Right when I looked at that street sign, Maud Street, I thought of that TV, that 70s TV series, Maud, with B. Arthur. I watched it occasionally, that show, but I remember the character, the main character, Maud, it always seemed to me to be so angry and hostile. Yeah, so it didn't really do much for me. It always seemed to be a lot of yelling or raised voices or something. But I really liked B. Arthur, and I really liked the Golden Girls. But she had a little bit of that Maud temperament in the Golden Girls. She seemed to get upset frequently with Rose. Oh, this is new too, I think. Yeah, I think so. Right, this corner across the street here on Portland. You know what? Yeah, did that used to be a park? Hang on a second. There used to be a park. Oh no, I think the park is still there. Across the street here. Remember there was a really good, I think, vegan restaurant just on this side of Portland, on the east side. I think just I think a short ways away. Oh yeah, the park is still there. I remember there's a park on this side of Portland. I don't know whether that vegan restaurant is still here. It looks like a lot of boarded up buildings. So I want us to use the other side, I think. No, I think I can walk this way. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, wow, wow. I wonder what was there before the teardown. Okay, we're continuing walking west on Richmond. Loblaws in there and a Winners. Oh, we're coming up to Bathurst. here are some old structures. I'm not sure if they're actually residences. At least maybe some of them might be, but I think there's a lot of businesses in there. The Harlow. Oh, that looks like a nice building. I think that's kind of new too. Wow, look at this old car. Wow, that's an oldie but goldie. I think we're going to cross Bathurst, folks, and then we'll see how it looks west of Bathurst. I've never walked this far, I'm sure, along Richmond. Still says that it's the fashion district. This might be a little bit more residential, or maybe not. So we're watching, I think it's on CBC, we're taping a series. I think it's called Music That Changed the World or something like that. Anyhow, we watched the first episode last night. So it goes right back to the late 60s. You know, when Marvin Gaye, you know, sort of changed things after that, what was it called? The Trent Massacre, or the Trent Four, the killings of those Trent University students. There was some conflict, and anyhow, and John Lennon, I think, contributed or wrote some songs related to that, and you know, the whole war issue, Vietnam War and all that. Anyhow, the music is very symbolic. So when we were watching that last night and listening to, you know, this Marvin Gaye music and music that John Lennon wrote, and I never really made the connection, at least I don't remember making the connection, but listening to that music now, like last night, sort of changed how I see that music. Before I would just enjoy it and kind of, you know, mellow out and listening to it, but now it's it hits a emotional chord. Marvin Gaye's song, or the album, I think it was an album and a song called What's Going On, and it speaks to, you know, policy and government and what the government is getting involved with, and to what extent, and how they're treating people. Look at this beautiful yard. Oh my goodness, I love this entrance. Wow.
For now it's going to be pillow top.
Anyhow, it's I think it's a CBC, or I think it's a CBC series, and it's pretty sure it's called Music That Changed the World. If you Google that, you might see, it might show you what the series is. But the music of the 70s, I mean, I was in grade 6 in 71. I didn't really get into music until probably when I was in grade 7 in junior high school. And that's when music became more relevant to me. And I just remember listening, you know, to the albums over and over, and it was all about music and in the 80s as well. A little bit of the 90s, and then I sort of, I don't know, stepped away from music. I think I got involved with other things, but music in the 70s, and hearing it again in this series is really reflective, a reflective time for me. You know, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Marvin Gaye, like some of these people who wrote such incredible music. Lost Dog, oh my God. Ooh, I mean, I see Lost Cats. Cats can do pretty well compared to dogs as far as being on their own. I guess in comparison between dogs and cats, cats will do better. But a lost dog, ooh, they can't do too well on their own. Oh my goodness, my heart sinks. 10-year-old dog too. There's a lot of feral cat colonies in the city, so a cat will migrate to a colony. A cat that maybe has escaped or whatever, but dogs, there's no real place for dogs except wandering the streets. Maybe in getting hit by a car. Oh my goodness. Lost dog. So I've never been this far west on Richmond. Not sure whether it connects beyond this street, but I think this is as good a place as any to conclude today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. We are at Niagara Street and Richmond Street. Niagara Street's a cool street too, I think. I'll have to check that out another time. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.